What the?
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, Libra. I didn't have a chance to pull your cards ahead of time because I had a visitor. Hang on just a second. Okay. Not taking those because I don't feel fully shuffled. This will only take a second. Sorry. Let's hope for a good reading, Libra. As the world turns is what it's been, right? All right. Let's do one more. I've got the gain turned up, so I hope I know it's really annoying when people, like when you can really hear the cards smacking, or for those of you wearing headphones. So I'm trying not to let that happen. All right. I'll try to be gentle here. If I sit here at Command Central. Nothing yet. That means things haven't been changing. Are things not changing for you, Libra? Sometimes we have to be the change. Ah, there we go. Oh, okay. We have the Emperor in reverse. Let me set that aside. Come on. Something good for my Libra friends. I've got a lot of friends that are Libra. Oh, all right. There we go. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now, what almost popped out was the Three of Swords in reverse and the Six of Cups. But I can't take them because they didn't pop up. I'm just making a mental note to you out loud. Let me bread and butter them for a second because, oh, no. What's happening, Libra? I hope you've been well. Stay prayed up. Keep negative people away from you. Cut out toxicity as much as possible. Do your breathing. Do your yoga. All right. One more bread and butter. Okay? All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Whoa. Hang on just a second. Here we go. Oh, already. Woo! Okay. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. We need one more. Come on. Woo! Okay. We have the Tower. We need one more. The Tower is not a bad thing. The Tower is a good thing because if something is unstable, if the situation is untenable, something needs to change, okay? And it seems like things are stuck for some of you. That one flew. Okay, Chariot in reverse. What the hell? Okay. All right. I'm not exasperated by the reading. I'm just a little bit... Okay. Let me gather these up. Okay, so let's just get straight to it. So when we have the Emperor in reverse, of course, major arcana here, we've got 1, we've got two, three major arcana. So there are some circumstances here, 3 out of 5. So there are some circumstances that seem to be somewhat out of your control. And if you're trying to control them, don't. I could tell you from experience, as soon as something is shaky, quaky, just not quite right, release it. Of course, you wouldn't release your children, if they're shaky or quaky, but you know what I'm talking about. Keep it in context to what your situation is. So the Emperor in reverse talks about an abuse of power, rigidity. Sometimes it's a lack of discipline and not controlling oneself or standing in one's power. But this is the card of lack of control, like an absentee father. There could be paternity issues with some of you. Now, not everyone is of childbearing age. This is a card that also could indicate a pushy, kind of domineering energy and know-it-all. Somebody is self-centered. This is a card that talks about shame, loss of prestige. Be careful. This energy, I don't know who I was mentioning it to. Be careful with accidents and injuries, because this is an energy that myself, others have picked up on before, and I don't like it. So like I said, always remember, even if you've just got a moment to say, oh Lord, and as long as you are in right alignment with the Most High, with the divine, for me, this is Jesus Christ. Ever since I was a little tiny girl, then you're going to be okay, and nothing will happen here. But we remember, it's kind of like what my dad used to say. You can control yourself in the car while you're driving. You can control your car, but you can't control what other people are doing. I don't know why that comes up, but it came up before, I think in one of the other readings. Ouch. It came up, something that I said. I remembered that specifically. And yes, I do a meditation kind of before I do any of the readings, and I just take some notes and sometimes a remote view, but I didn't remote view because I've recorded these ahead of time and I don't know when you're going to see them. You may be seeing this right now. So, why is this happening for the overall theme? Abuse of power and domination. So let's just go with that. Okay, so we're going to set that aside and let's go to the next card, which was the 8 of Swords in reverse. As the challenge. This is, remember, swords are communication, swords are of the mind. So this is a feeling that somehow you are dealing with too many communications. I mean, it could be pieces of paper, literally. It could just be a bunch of talking. It could be feeling trapped by the talk. Also, this is where you're drowning in the details, or there's too many details and you're trying to escape. You want to get free. You want to be released. You want to find a solution. It's a good card because as the challenge here, if you've got somebody that's lording over you, controlling you, like whoever this son of a bitch emperor is, whoever this emperor in reverse, remember, this could be a higher authority. The emperor could literally be somebody in the civic community. This could be a boss. This could be a father figure. This could be, somebody in a governing body. Somebody has authority over you. Think about the emperor. Think about the archetype of an emperor as a ruler. Okay, so there's somebody trying to rule over you, or you don't know what their rulership is, why they're ruling over you. Mars in Aries energy. Let me grab something. Hang on just a second. This will make me feel better. Okay. Ouch. I did something to my pinky over here with my exuberant shuffling. Why? Okay, the Emperor. Let me look at this. So the Emperor is in reverse and he's being very controlling. The Emperor and Mars in Aries. Root chakra, Muladhara. Okay, so the Emperor and the I have. So the Emperor is the root chakra. So the theme is somebody, either you or somebody around you. I don't think it's you. But let's just say it's not you, because what do I know? Okay, so it's not you. Okay, because this is very negative. This wouldn't be you. You guys like to be sparkly, shiny, and happy. The emperor wants to be the authority. Somebody wants to place a structure. You do as he says, you do what he tells you to do, and then everything's going to be okay. And then it's in the reverse, it's very cold. So number 4 could be significant. The energy of Mars is action and energy, but in reverse, the energy of Mars is aggression. Huh. Okay. So now the 8 of Swords in reverse, you're trying to get free. You're trying to get away from this. You don't like this. Manipura, solar plexus energy. Okay. So you're trying to really gather your energy through and using your solar plexus to be able to manifest some kind of an escape. And that is your challenge, is getting out, or you should. Okay. Let's move to your finances. I want to see if that has anything to do with this. Okay, so the 4 of Cups in reverse. So this is some kind of an emotional restlessness, obviously. Now, the cups don't always have to be about emotions. Your relationship could be perfectly fine, so don't panic, sweetheart, because it can be fine. But of course, you know, who wouldn't be in their emotions if the emperor is trying to step on your freaking neck and you just want to get away? Want to get away? 4 of Cups in reverse. Moon and Cancer energy. Okay. Vishuddha. Okay, so you're trying to speak something with this chakra. Vishuddha is the throat chakra, so you want to speak something, you want to say something, but you can't, or you don't want to. As it relates to your finances, somehow your finances are attached to something emotional or something of the emotions, something relating to the emotions, or you're in your emotions about this challenging situation that you want to escape because it is tied to the way you feel and what you want to speak. I'm getting that cold energy again. This is a card that says my heart is empty, my heart is cold. Be careful with the drinking. I'm just going to say that. I'm not judging. I understand, but be careful with the drinking. Because this is the card of a lack of moderation. So obviously overindulgence in food and alcohol. Lack of moderation. This is the card that talks about a failure in love. So we're going to go back to the Emperor. Maybe the Emperor, somebody's controlling a situation. Doesn't have to be a person, but if it is a person, flip it, switch it, and reverse it. Okay. Think. I speak. I can. Manipura energy. I can get out. Okay, so the Emperor says, I have. The Emperor in reverse says, I have control. And as a challenge, you're saying, I want to get out, and Manipura energy, I can get out. Then we move over here to the finances with the 4 of Cups in reverse. So you're thinking that you can't escape, but yes, you can. Yes, you can. Solar plexus energy, gathering it up. These have been getting tougher as I go. Okay. I can get out, but I feel like I can't. I feel somehow obligated to stand between all of these swords of my mind, because the 8 of Swords, okay, all right, so maybe somebody could be in prison or in jail, literally, or facing prison or jail, or maybe they're in jail and they're going to be released soon. I have to say it. I mean, like, I have to say it because the freaking Emperor is here. Could be that somebody doesn't want to go to jail or prison. This could be you or somebody around you. Failure in love, cultivating positive thoughts. So, this is a difficult situation somehow as it relates to your money and this freaking Emperor, and you want to get away. Okay. I speak. Vishuddha. Okay. throat chakra. Let's set this aside. Do we have anything else we could say about this? This is also that you just don't find something fun anymore. Maybe you're like, I'm making money with this retarded emperor over here. No shade to the, retards. I'm from LA. So people from Los Angeles, and I'm an 80s kid. I graduated in 86. So, you're like, I'm not having fun anymore making this money with this emperor or at this job. Okay. This job could feel like a prison and I want out of here, want to get away. I want to speak up for myself. I don't think I can. Yes, you can. Don't fall into that pattern of thinking that you can't speak up. Like for me, the only time I'm not speaking up is because I don't feel like it. You could feel tired. This is the card of stagnation. The Four of Cups in reverse is the card of letting go of regrets. Take an opportunity, seize opportunity to remove this apathy and to move forward. Okay. So like, if you're not having fun anymore, just to like, when I'm not happy and it's not fun, not meaning that everything is a party. I'm like much more of a hermit than that. Okay. But I mean, when it's not pleasant, enjoyable, and or healthy. Okay. Now for where are we at? Oh God. Okay. So this is where I said the Tower is good, because if you're this stuck and somebody's a burden because he's the Emperor in reverse, he's got his foot on your damn neck, you want to get away, somebody's going to prison, somebody's coming out of prison, somebody's facing prison, or the prison of the mind or spiritual prison. Financially is saying the subject here is overindulging in food. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who's a raging alcoholic and doesn't know how to put it down. And maybe you're dealing with somebody that all they do is eat all day and puts on 50 pounds. It wouldn't be that simple. It would not be that simple. This is more complicated, okay, because we have the Tower. So the Tower card is about something that you believed in, something that you invested in, something that you built together. It could be a home that you built together. It could have been an idea or a concept that you built together. It could have been a family that you built together. It, could be a Bonnie and Clyde for all I know. Whatever this is, there's a structure that two people have come. Now, doesn't it just have to be two? Because say you're business partners and there's 6 business partners. Well, we don't have 6 people on this card, so you're going to have to go with it. But I don't see a bunch of people. I only see 2 people so far. So, of course, this is the card of chaos. This is a crumbling foundation because this tower is falling because it was never built on a solid foundation. There was some lie. There was something that misled you. Maybe you were misled. Maybe you were promised something. Maybe somebody literally lied to your face and promised you the world and the moon and a ladder to get to it and the trajectory back. Maybe you are an astronaut. This is a good card in this way. That's why I said, be careful with the driving right now, because this is the card that says that there's, a possibility for disaster. And do not get paranoid on me. These are just freaking paper cards. Okay. I'm just using my mind and the symbols to come up with what these potentials could be, what the omens would portend. What is this narrative? I'm thinking, okay, so I knew this lady and she was in the medical profession and she happened to be really good with the major arcana and terrible at reading the pip cards. And she used to say, well, I'm just going to look at the picture and say whatever I'm going to say. Okay, so I'm going to look at the picture and say what I'm going to say here. You can avoid a disaster. You need to make a change. Okay, so this is literally, the Tower is the card that says when you get rid of something or someone, that's when things start to get better. Because this is the card that after the chaos and the Tower falling, things get better. If you have a question you want to ask it right now, and then I'm going to give you the answer. Okay. I like this chakra so much because this is the Sahasrara. I'm saying it wrong. This is the Sahasrara crown chakra. Mars energy. Mars is on fire. I surrender to the storm. So the answer to the question that you ask here, if you ask a question, the answer is no. Okay, so I don't know why I was led to just do that right there. I can do that with any of them, or we can do some potentials and probabilities, but I'm a person, I hate doing stats. Okay, so now for the solution, how do we solve this together? Okay, we have the Chariot in reverse. two. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chariot in reverse. So, somebody's lying to you. If you have a question as to whether or not somebody is lying to you, if your question is the emperor lying to me, the answer is yes. Chariot card, moon in Cancer, crown chakra. Are we at crown chakra? No, 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 no. We're at the Anahata chakra, heart chakra. I love. So you must love the emperor, but the answer, the solution to the emperor and why he is inverted is literally chariot. Want to get away? Yes. Is the emperor lying to you? Yes. This is really, I'm not triggering you. I'm looking at this like, why? What? But this is, in any other kind of reading, I would go into expanding upon each of the cards, but we're not doing that or else we'll be here all night. Is that this is just a short reading for fun, and I want to get them all out there because I want to have a nice weekend. But I want you to have this energy so that you can think about it, not to ruin your weekend, but maybe this is the weekend that you're literally making plans like I got to buy some boxes over at Walmart. I'm going to Costco or I'm going to U-Haul and I'm going to buy a bunch of boxes. Okay, I don't know. Make no sudden moves during Mercury retrograde unless you are unsafe. Somebody is making you feel scared. And if somebody's making you feel unsafe and they're going to put hands on you or something, you pick up the phone, you call the cops. Okay, I don't mean to sound like your mother. God bless your mother if she's alive. My mother is alive. My stepdad today turned 85 years old. Because the way out, okay, this is what this card means. Let me scroll back for those of you that are not tarot readers or don't have a million years experience. The Chariot in reverse talks about forcefulness, lack of direction, no self-control, lack of control. This is the powerlessness card, literally. This is being blocked by aggression and obstacles and even coercion. This is the card of success, but through underhanded means. Maybe the Emperor's trying to get you to go in on some deal that has to do with the tower. Maybe it's real estate for all I know, even though we don't have a lot of earth. I see, something being rejected here or you feel rejected. But look, if the Emperor rejects you, run, Forest, because don't take it. This is a card that talks about being ruthless. And when I'm saying these things, do not let any of this be you. Do not let it be you. Run quickly to get the helps. Okay. You know what I mean? Let somebody talk to you. Get yourself, somebody special to talk to. Like it's best not to involve people that you know. It's best to go to a professional counselor, go to a therapist, go to a life coach, go to somebody that you don't know, somebody that can be impartial with you to think it through, to work it through. And to help identify if you're having any issues that are blocking you, because maybe by now this Emperor and these swords and these cups and this tower have driven you literally like you feel like you're going crazy. Obsessed with money and power, not being concerned for other people's feelings or what they need. This is a decadent attitude. This is like the person that goes shopping for the sake of shopping and stuffing the closets and the shelves or the garage, you know what I mean? Full of tools or cars or none of us we don't need this. The goal of life is living. The purpose of living is movement and advancement and elevation, spiritually, ascension, to become one more with the environment, to help the environment heal, to heal families. It's not about how expensive are your shoes. Like, what am I going to do? Like blow my rent on a pair of Manolos? Like, but what's good about this is that even with the Chariot in reverse there, yes, that's it. With the Chariot in reverse, there is this strong urge, this predisposition now that the Emperor has revealed himself and that you want to get away, but you don't know how or you don't want to. Screw the accoutrement. Like, look, you could give me a palace on a hill with an infinity pool, and if there is some SOB telling me how to live my life or what to do or when to do it, or, oh, here, at this time, you'll go to the painting class At this time, you're going to go dance. At this time, you will practice. No, 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 honey. I'd be like, take this freaking thing or this job or this relationship or this marriage or this house and the infinity pool and take your tiger with you. Okay. Like, look, I had somebody offer me a kind of wild creature, like a very I want to bring levity to you. There was a person who offered me a very exotic animal. If I would just acquiesce to the request, honey, I'm like, I'm not the one that's going to say yes to the dress. If you're like, I will say yes to the keys to get me out the door and back on a plane. You know, that's okay. Like, give me the wild creature. I'll take that as a gift or something, but you've probably put a GPS tag in that beast's ear. So what am I saying with this? Let's go. Oh, I almost forgot. Where are you? Okay, we need to do your weird oracles. Lord have mercy. And gentlemen, if this is a woman that's doing this to you, run, Forrest, run. But okay, so no sudden moves during the retrograde, unless you already know if this has been a shit show from the beginning of a relationship or you have been misled or you misled somebody, like if it's already so unstable that the emperor is in reverse, that you feel like you're in a cage, you want to escape, you don't know how, the Four of Cups, I don't want it, they don't want you, whatever this is, look at problem solved. You would know. This is where, I look at this and say, this is a bunch of karma in the making. I do not want it. I want to live in a way that my Anahata chakra is clear and I can love and be at peace with myself. You don't need anybody. I know, like, I'm not going to say the name. I know such a codependent Libra. This codependent, but this woman, she's suffered from mental illness most of her life. And this is a situation that myself and a family member, like I was in denial about it. Like, no, she can't be crazy. Like, no, maybe she's just crazy, air quotes, not crazy. You know what I mean? And the truth is sometimes there are situations when people lose touch with reality. And I don't want you losing touch with anything. Don't lose touch. But if you are a cross watcher and some Libra has gone, let's just, I'm going to put it this way. Let's flip it. If the Libra is your oppressor, if you are dealing with the Libra that is this way, you will already know it. Okay. So men, if you're dealing with the Libra female, don't get upset by it being an emperor. That's the card that came out. I can't possibly read for thousands and thousands of people that are going to bump into this video one way at one date or another. Okay, so the weird oracles. And ladies, if you're the ones that are dealing with somebody like this, somebody that's literally trying to crush your spirit or try to control your spirit or trying to keep you off the internet and hide you away from people because they're so insecure that they don't want you to breathe, that's called mental illness. I grew up in a home, God forgive my father. He wasn't, it's so hard coming from another country. Like my parents came from Cuba. I was born in LA, so it was different. I was very lucky about that. That earns me haters for some reason, you know, but my father had to leave his whole family behind and it really, the stress of everything and making the American dream work, which it did. My mom and dad really, you know, it should have been in an idyllic situation, you know, because my parents bought their first house very quickly. They bought a house and I was born and moved into that house. You know, my dad worked hard. My mom, I had a beautiful, perfect stay-at-home mom. And my father was very insecure and jealous and possessive. And I will tell you something here that my experiences took me to such a place where I finally could realize that I kept ending up in very serious relationships with people who always sought to control me. And yet I was raised to be free and to be unique and to be independent. And my parents did everything to make each of us, myself and my brothers, unique. And yet I ended up replaying the role that I reprised her role and became my mother until I finally realized, oh my gosh, I've been trying to recreate literally my childhood to heal my father wound. And my father adored me. You know, it's just very like we're Catholic and he didn't like organized religion. And I'm not an organized religion person either. I've been, you know what I mean? I'm very free, very open. My parents let me go to all kinds of churches. But, you know, the deal was kind of like my mom. She was the deal with her parents was she was going to be raised Catholic until 16, and then she would go to the Daughters of the Eastern, Star, because my grandfather was a Mason there in Cuba. And so she was given a choice how she was going to do things. And, my parents gave me and my brothers those choices, and we did the Catholic thing first. And then my mother was letting me, then I was in every holy roller church with my first little boyfriend. That thanks to him, he was actually one of the first persons that was there that witnessed, and something that I witnessed on the pier at Manhattan Beach, California. So let's get to your weird oracles. Just like, please don't you be the person that maybe has the same kind of situation where, like, you have to realize that you do not have to recreate your parents' roles. Everybody thinks that I'm just like the little woman, and look at her. She's so small. She's like the little woman. No, 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 honey. I am the exotic beast. Okay. I'm the tiger that, you know what I'm saying? Be careful. I'm nice until you back me into a corner. Okay. Okay. I know you don't believe me, but just believe it is true. Okay, so for your weird oracle, I've got return no longer accepted. Somebody has attention deficit disorder. This is like, that doesn't mean anything bad. Like everybody in my family, they're all artists and and can do all kinds of things. Somebody's drinking too much. We address that. There could be a situation where a parenting plan is going to be very much necessary. Why do I get the sense that somebody adopted a kid, or somebody's adopted kid or step kid? Something is wrong there. That could be the source of some, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with the kid, but that could be the source of some of the issues, or the emperor is using that as an excuse. Be careful. Tableware, ignore it. These are just different cards. The initial C could be extremely important to you. I never know what they're going to be. Take the L. L for Libra. L for, I'd take a loss as long as you let me get out of here. Okay, so shake and bake. Shook you, tried to break you, but you get the bag. You can get the bag. Get the frick out of there. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, I'm just giving you what it looks like to me. Why do you fear your future? Evidence and destiny, Libra. Peanut butter, somebody has a speech impediment. I've got a neurocognitive concern here. Okay, so I can't go into the whole thing, obviously, because I'm already at 31 minutes, but there is some concern over somebody's neurocognition. So somebody could be having some sleep disorders, and a disruption in sleep patterns can cause neurocognitive impairment. So you need to be careful. Okay, so make sure that you're getting rest. I know, like, I'm probably giving you a whole bunch of stuff. And you're like, but I can't sleep. Okay, but you're going to have to. You will have to get yourself into a state of mind where you understand that you can hurt yourself if you do not get sleep. Okay, sweetheart, I am so sorry. Okay, so I've got missing group activities, scared of inclusion. That would make sense with that Eight of Swords, and maybe the Emperor is controlling you and keeping you from your group activities, except for those that he or she tells you that are acceptable on his or her itinerary. That an Emperor in reverse, you don't want it, because that is the most insecure and can be very dangerous in that way, because they tend to have some kind of power. Now you could be like, no, my boyfriend doesn't have any power. Okay, so maybe he's the assistant manager at McDonald's. He's got a little power if you're a stay-at-home mom. I've got the oops, this recipe is no good and can't be repaired. Broken soul contract. Need I say more? Missing group activities. We already did that one. Oh no, they're turning blue. Dial 911, call an ambulance. This is serious. If you have a health concern, you need to make sure you go to the doctor. Always make sure that if you've got a situation that's tumultuous, that you keep a phone on you. Roach Motel, you have them trapped. Don't trap them. Just get yourself out of the Roach Motel. We don't trap people. We don't try to take people. We don't trap people. People are free. Okay, we're either together because we feel like it, or we're not. Device screen wipes, erasing digital data, but the feds find it. So there could be feds involved in a situation here, and they found it, whatever it is, and that could help free you, or maybe it sends them to jail and prison, or at least into court. Okay, so oops, that bag of sugar is leaking. Adversary always looking for an opening. Mice, you don't want mice. Okay, so mice as they relate to the Lenormand, there's talking that you're not aware of. There's mischief here, but let me turn that over. Where are we? Okay. We're on for sale sign, Libra. So somebody's trying to sell a house. I wouldn't be buying a house. I don't know if I'd even, well, the Mercury retrograde, if you've had it on the market too long, could yield some results if you're like, but somebody's selling a house. Maybe you need to sell the damn house. Maybe it's the house with the infinity pool and the man that offered you the exotic creature. Oops, the tables have turned, Libra. So maybe your emperor was trying to say, haha, I got you now. Or look, I've ruined your life and the tables have turned and now it's you or on you. Or now you could say, okay, the tables have turned. You tried to ruin my life. Flip it, switch it where it belongs. I don't want to face it alone, Libra. Don't be afraid of being alone. And Navy corpsman, long way back, under investigation, services, coworker, fired, friends with benefits. These are so weird. Secret ingredient, kept you a secret. So somehow somebody was a Navy corpsman, somebody's involved with somebody who's a Navy corpsman, somebody was somehow medically inclined in the Navy. This makes me think of Veronica. This is somebody that she's in heaven now. She was important to me. She was a Navy corpsman. So somehow you were in the Navy corpsman, or your name could be Corpsman. You could wear a lot of Navy. Okay, sweetheart, I think that's enough. If you're involved with somebody in the services and the emperor is the Navy corpsman, flip it and switch it where it belongs. I will be back with you shortly, and hopefully you can make sense of this. I know that gets me very excited, but immediately when I see this, I'm going to tell you the way I feel. I feel like I want to start planning something. I'm going to plan my exit, and I can do it in 3 freaking days. Take good care of yourself, sweetheart. God bless you all.
Ma fede fu, e le tua.